Today we play golf.
Let me show you how we do it in the pros.
Welcome to Behind the Golf Brand Podcast.
I never miss with the 7-iron.
A conversation with some of the most interesting innovators and entrepreneurs behind the biggest names in golf.
My friends were the golf clubs. I lived on the golf course. I lived on the driving range.
From pro talk
You should learn something from each and every single round you play in.
to fun from on and off the green.
Why would you play golf if you don't play it for money?
Just let me put the ball in the hole.
This is Behind the Golf Brand Podcast with Paul Liberatore. Behind the Golf Brand Podcast is sponsored by On Point, the revolutionary three-dimensional domed golf ball marker. On Point provides alignment recognition as small as a degree of inaccuracy from the planned course of the putt face angle. Endorsed by Jim Furyk, U.S. Open champion and 17-time PGA Tour winner. On Point alignment technology has been proven to increase putting performance and help lower your score. Visit onpointgolf.us and be sure to use code GA10 for a 10% discount. On Point, make more putts.
What's up, guys? Paul from Golfers Authority. Welcome to Behind the Golf Brand Podcast. Welcome to episode 38. 38. I just read it off the screen, so I have it right this week. This week, I have a legend, another legend in the business of e-com and golf. I have Tom Cox, the CEO and founder of golfballs.com. That's right. Right? No, it's not right.
That's right.
I was
except for the legend part. I'm a legend in my own mind.
I mean, first of all, you have the best URL of like all time. And he really is a legend. I don't know. I look up to it. Like there's certain people I look up in this industry and he's one of them. This is freaking cool, you guys. Like his story and how he grew his brand. And like he was one of the first brands in online golf retail. Like really. So I'm super excited to hear about like how he did it and his story. If you guys don't know what golfballs.com is, they pretty much are the leader in used balls, custom balls, anything to do with balls, even they have equipment. I learned that today. I didn't even know that. So it's really cool to have him on the show. I'm super excited and to learn more from this amazing entrepreneur. So welcome to the show.
Awesome to be here, Paul. Thank you.
So let me ask you this. Where are you at right now?
I'm in my office in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Louisiana. Is it cold there?
I have a window from my office, but unfortunately, it goes into the retail store. I mean, unfortunately or fortunately, and I see no sunlight, so I've kind of got a dark office. But you know, that's how it goes sometimes.
That's all right. I have a dark office too. I like working in the dark.
Yeah.
I like my paralegal will come in. She's like, "Why is it so dark in here?" I'm like, "Because it feels good in my eyes. People are not bugging me. They don't think I'm here." Like, it doesn't really work that well. But so I don't know if you're listening to the show, but usually the first question I always ask is, what's your first golf memory?
Probably playing golf with my mother's father in Green Cove Springs, Florida. There was a little 9-hole course, and he walked and played every day. So my first experience was as a little guy walking a 9-hole course with him and playing with him when we would go visit in the summertime.
So what year was that?
Ooh,
I guess what time is?
And I was probably 7 or 8 or so when I did that. So we could do some math on that. It's probably.
Man, I think we're the same age, man, or close to it.
Early 70s.
Man, see, look how more distinguished he is and stuff, and he's a little bit older than me, man.
And I'm 53. I'm a lot older than you.
Oh, I'm 10 years younger. I feel better now. And 10 years from now, I'll be like golfballs.com. It'll be golfpauls.com. Kidding. So what made you like, okay, let me ask you this. So some people I have on the show, they, played high school golf, they played college golf, they played tour stuff. That's kind of how they got into it. So how did you get into golf?
So when I was in college, about halfway through, a friend of mine was working at a local country club here in town, and he was moving out of town. And he said, "Hey, they need somebody. Would you like the gig?" And so I was like, at the age of how old was I at the time? 18.
Were you going to LSU?
At 19. So I went to LSU for a couple of years, had an awful lot of fun, and then I transferred to UL here in Lafayette, and I that's where I graduated from. But at some point in that time frame, I think this was 90, not 90. This was 88, I think. I started in the golf business as an assistant to the administrative office of a country club. So that's kind of it. So I wasn't on the golf side of it, the golf operation side.
Mm-hmm.
And then as when I graduated, I had an opportunity, became assistant general manager shortly after.
At the same place?
At the same place. Yep. And
what was your degree in?
Well, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer.
No, you don't want to do that.
A lawyer like you, Paul.
No, you don't want to do that. I want to be like you.
Well, no,
entrepreneur. Let's trade.
I came to that. But I kind of, and so I was like, this was the LSAT. I was studying for the LSAT. Ugh. And then the club changed hands. A Japanese company bought it, and it kind of created some new opportunities for me.
That's cool.
All the while that I was at the country club, country club members are full of entrepreneurs and business owners.
Oh yeah.
Right? So I'm interacting with these guys, and I'm getting inspired by their stories every day. Right. And so I kind of, I think you kind of have it or don't have it. The entrepreneur.
Yeah, you can't force it on somebody.
Yeah. You have it or you don't have it. And I didn't have it. My dad worked for the government and his dad worked for the government. So I was destined to work for the government until my entrepreneur gene activated.
Yeah.
And then kind of being exposed to these entrepreneurs at the country club activated my entrepreneur gene. And I went, ooh, this is pretty cool. I'm going to stay in business for a while. But then I was just always thinking about business ideas from that point forward. So I would credit it in the early days just to kind of the inspiration of being around successful business owners and entrepreneurs in that environment.
It's interesting because I know you were talking to me before, like your dad was in the FBI, everybody, so don't mess with him. But his dad was in the FBI, right? So it's like, even though your dad wasn't an entrepreneur, right? Like you weren't growing up in that environment, right? I would assume not.
No.
But then by being exposed by entrepreneurs, it like clicked, right? Like that part of your brain was like, oh, I mean, once that happens, there's no stopping it. Like
no. And I've pretty much been a lifelong entrepreneur since that point in time.
So then, how long did you stay at the country club?
Until 98, maybe. So I was club manager there, and at the same time, for a period of time, also a director of, back then it was a web.com tour and a Nike tour, and so I kind of had a lot of different pieces, a lot of experience in a lot of different segments of the golf business before starting golfballs.com. And so actually, we started golfballs.com. I say we because a couple founders at the time, people that were founders of the company and also worked with me at the time, was a web developer that helped me develop the website for the country club. And my boss at the time, who owned the management company that oversaw the country club. So that was, and so in 95, it was kind of a part-time test. It was like a hobby, right? Like, okay, I'm exposed to this. The internet came along, and I said, "Ooh, I studied it. To me, it was clear as day, plain. It was crystal clear that every year for the next 50 years, that more and more transactions were going to move online. Crystal clear. It was just obvious. And so I said, what do I know? What are my skills? What are my industry skills? I like computers. I know golf. I know the golf business. And so in 95, kind of two events came together in 1 week that gave me that kind of led me to golfballs.com. We were interviewing some used golf ball, the guys that dive in the ponds for the country club. And so we were negotiating a contract for them to pull the balls out of the club. And I was meeting with a web developer out of the ponds. And I was meeting with a web developer to develop a website for the country club because we did. It
was time. People were doing that. Like you had to have
doing that. It was a brochure at the time.
Oh, right? It was. Yeah. It was a really bad, ugly,
very
brochure.
Nice country club. We did wedding receptions and that sort of stuff. And so at that time, and that same week, it kind of dawned on me. What if I work with a developer to build a website to sell used golf balls and work with the used golf ball divers to do fulfillment for the used golf balls that we sell on the website. And so within this was like October, November of 95. in late November, early December 95, we started the business and then launched it in February 96. And so that's kind of how we got started. Now, it's worth noting now that we have been out of the youth ball business for that's a separate podcast and a separate story. But we've been out of the youth golf ball business since about 2000. We kind of pivoted.
No joke.
Yeah.
I never knew that. We got to talk about that later.
I still have people that I run into
that associate it, right?
That have been friends of mine for years that say, "Hey, how's that youth ball business going?" Like just because once
like 20 years ago,
we got out of it 20 years. We got out of it 20 years ago.
Why? So, maybe that's another show.
Yeah,
that's a pretty big question. Why?
Well, it's easy to it's where we.
It's
start.
Probably really hard. Honestly, I bet it's really hard because it's a lot of juggling, right?
It was, we like to sell things that other people don't do well, and that we have a unique competitive advantage in, right?
Yeah.
So right now, our customization products suit that because we do it very well. We do it in some ways that other people don't do it. Back then, you couldn't just go into a Walmart or you couldn't go into a sporting goods store or a Dick's and buy used golf balls the way you wanted. Like, so we started sorting and grading them, selling them online exactly at a price point that appealed to customers. What happened is, as we kind of moved from like 95 to 2000, eBay was started, and ball guys started. The guys that were diving in the ponds that were fulfilling our orders or selling us balls to do our fulfillment were taking their best products and selling them directly on.
So you're getting the junk.
So that's essentially that's what happened, right?
Yeah.
These guys could make more money selling direct.
Which is cool.
Direct.
I mean, they're doing the work.
Yeah. So we said, okay, what can we do that's different that will provide us a sustainable competitive advantage? And we felt like product customization, ball customization, and other types of customization was something that it was very, very early on. Personalized golf balls, corporate logo golf balls, kind of early on it was not well adopted, but it was clear that it was going to continue to grow. People like personalized stuff, right? People like, and the internet's uniquely suited to deliver personalized products for customers and golfers. So we kind of pivoted in that 2000 to 2002 timeframe to completely get out of the used ball business and focus on customized and personalized golf products.
That's amazing. I had no idea. So then you guys built the website, right? V1. And what did it sell? Used balls, or was it all kinds?
Used golf balls any way you want it. You could buy like new. Back then it would have been Titleist Professionals or Tour Baladas, or you could buy second grade at a lower price, or grade 3 or grade B or whatever we called it back then, or grade C, the way you want it, or you could buy mixed balls, and we would sell it. We would sell exactly the ball you wanted, exactly the grade you wanted, depending on the price point that you wanted to pay. And that was
V1 of the site, right?
That was version 1. Yeah.
So how long did V1 of the site last?
Warehouse. What's that?
How long did it was called Golf Ball Warehouse?
Oh, Golf Ball Warehouse. Yeah.
So so then golfballs.com didn't even exist, right? Like no one even owned the domain. That domain's super strong, man. If you look at seriously,
I'll tell you a story on that one too when we get there. But so we just focused on used golf balls. We built the website in 95, started the business in 95, launched it in early 96. And in year 1, we did $17,000 in sales. So I don't know, 96, it was kind of a hobby. It's like at 17,000 in sales.
It's extra money, but you're it probably cost you that much to build that crap.
It's kind of tough to call it a business.
Yeah.
Kind of was.
It's a hobby, right?
Yeah, it's a hobby. And then in year 2, 70,000 in business. In year 3, which would have been 98, we did 200,000 in business. And then 99, we hit the $1 million mark, and that was kind of where right in that time frame, I said, "Ooh, I better stop these other." I still had a full-time job, and I described golfballs.com as a hobby gone awry. because it was kind of a hobby until it takes up so much of your time that it becomes that it just like you're either doing your full time job plus that takes up an entire all of your free time in a week. And at that point, I said, okay, I've either got to do it or not do it, sell it or focus on it to get it right. That was when I transitioned out of my club management business. Club management.
That's scary though, still too, right? Because you're like, you have a guarantee, and now it's like, okay, well, we're making good money, it's working, but it's still like the risk, right? Now that's the real risk because before
everybody that I knew and trusted said, you've got a great job at this country club. You've got a great opportunity there. Don't
you're gonna get a pension. You're gonna get a gold watch in 30 years.
Don't pass it up.
Yeah, you got guaranteed. You don't have to work 9 to 5. It's great.
But my entrepreneur gene had already been activated, and there was no turning back.
People always ask me, they're like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. I'm like, I don't know either, honestly. Like, I like doing it. It's fun. Like, that's it.
Yeah,
like, that's my hobby.
You have to be excited about it. And now 25 years later, I'm still really excited about what we do.
You know what it is? I think it's when something becomes a real job, that's when it stops being fun. But when you're actually growing something, it's not a job. It's like what you want to do, right? So it's almost like, I don't know, people ask me like, when did I stop flying? And I'm like, when it quit being fun. That's when I stopped flying. Honestly, that's the best way I can describe it. It quit being fun. And when it quit being fun, I don't want to do it anymore, Like, so yeah, I like what I do, but I also understand what you're saying too, because it's like, with what I've done over the last couple of years, it's like, that's what it was, a hobby that's gone haywire, which is a good thing. And I love it. I'm like, holy crap. I enjoy it, but it's
yeah. And at some point that hobby gets to become your focus, right?
Yeah.
Instead of split focus.
It's just so much fun. I don't know. Like seriously, it's golf. Like, I don't know.
It's a great,
what am I going to say?
It's a fun industry.
What I really like about what I do here is that I talk to so many entrepreneurs and like brands and like hear these stories and how it's just so fascinating because it's like there's always a thread, right, that goes through it. And it's always the same thread. It's just a different way of going down that thread.
Yeah.
So then what happened? So you went full time. Is that when you decided to change the name or no?
So in 98, we raised some capital and we did so at the same time that we purchased the domain golfballs.com. and reincorporated the business as golfballs.com Inc. And that was, and we bought the domain from a Canadian, somebody in Canada that had it for $9,500. How's that?
That's a lot of money back then too for a domain.
Well, in 98, you didn't know if a domain was going to be valuable.
No, you had no idea.
Like people were still,
the internet was like young. Like we're still using dial-up.
Is it going to be a mall? Is it going to be which paradigm is going to win? Is it going to be a mall?
Yeah,
paradigm?
because right, malls still existed until about 2002, right? 2001.
Yeah. Like there were 10 different competing scenarios that could have won the day, and the one that won was a strong domain that's easy to remember will help you build a business, right?
Yeah, short one.
But in 98, we weren't sure that. Here, I'll give you a funny story about it. And in 99, in 2000, after we raised some money, the front page of our local newspaper had golfballs.com hits an ace or something like that. Not golfballs.com, golfball.com. and at that point, we said, "Ooh, maybe we should get golfball.com too." So
shut up, really?
You
didn't buy golfball.com?
No, because if you hear one, you type the other. Like if you have a business name that kind of easily, somebody hears one thing and they type another, they hear one thing and type another. You really need to have all different.
Hell yeah, you do.
Permutations of it. Otherwise, you're gonna send your traffic to somebody else's website.
Somebody freaking wrote, I own golfersauthority.com, right? I did not buy golferauthority.com, and some German dude bought it and like built a golf website and was like,
of course you did.
And I was like, what the F? And that was actually flattering to me, right? Because I was like, oh, somebody copied me. Nice. Like, okay, now I'm actually getting some attention.
Until he takes your traffic.
And then I was like, oh, that prick. He took my freaking logo and he took my graphics. I'm going to kick his ass.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like, I pissed. So then I did And then I just went after him like full bore, and that was all right. I said the lawyer. It's like the lawyer part of me now. So then I was like, all right, jerk. And then I did DMCA takedown, and then I effed up his traffic. I did all this crap, and then he like apologized. And I was like, better get it back off, bro. I'm like, you have copyright infringement, trademark infringement, like all this shit. It's in Germany. What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, hi, my name's Johan. Welcome to Golfer Authority. Like,
yeah. Did he offer to sell it back to you before all that happened?
No.
No.
That's all right. Whatever. I probably should have. And then I think after that I bought .net, and we were going to write .net.
No, do we have .net? I don't know.
You probably do. It's like no one's ever going to write that.
Nobody's going to type .net. But I would go after that other domain. I get it.
I will at some point. I mean, I don't know. You got to be making enough money at it to make it worth your time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think guys would take my traffic. The thing is, if you type in Golfers Authority, I'm going to come up number one. So it's like
the right time to do it's now. It's not in 10 years for sure.
True. That's very true. Or when I got to think about this. Damn it. I shouldn't have told that story. Now I got one more thing I got to figure out.
Yeah. One more thing on your list of
a million things.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you got golf. Did you buy golfball.com then?
We did. And
I was going to buy it right now if you did it.
That was about $50,000.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
In a couple of years, it got a lot more expensive. And then
it's a shorter domain too. So, I mean,
the thing is though, we can't really do anything about it except redirect it to.
It's a 301 redirect to the next page.
Yeah, you just have to redirect it, and that's okay. It's worth. I mean, it's probably worth a lot of money, but you can't.
Oh, it's worth more than $50,000 now. That domain's worth.
Yeah, I'm saying. But we couldn't decouple it.
You start laughing. You're like, yeah, probably. What if I'll buy it off you right now for $50,000?
Deal. Except as long as you agree not to use it.
And then I'll 301 redirect it on my website.
Continue to redirect it. I'll get a 99-year lease on a redirect to.
I wonder if you can do that. Oh my gosh, can you imagine money you could make on that? They do that in Arizona on land. They do 99-year leases here. Crazy. So for all you listeners out there, you can't buy golfball.com. Sorry. But then what happened? So that's like 2000, right? So now you quit your job, and what happened next?
Then we grew
full bore.
We grew from I just raised some money. We spent too much money advertising for too little return, but we doubled the size of the business a couple years in a row, and then the .com crash came. And I don't know if you remember.
Did that hurt you when that happened?
You remember the .com crash?
It was like, what year was it? Like that was 99.
That was 2000. No, that was 2001, 2002, something right in that time frame.
So it's like right around 9/11.
Yeah. And so all of a sudden, now our business never slowed down, but the investor community, the economy slowed. The investor community soured to anything with .com. And if you had .com in your name, your board was trying to get you to take the .com out of your name.
Really?
I'm not kidding. Like that was actually a discussion at one of our board meetings. Now we never did it like that. It was core to what we did. It's where our business is located. Yeah, but in the .com in the doldrums of the .com crash, the sentiment was to disassociate with the .com. And anyway, we never did it. We just kept growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. So we have pretty consistently grown. Now, obviously, in the early years of a business, you grow at a faster percent than you do in later years. Just as we were doubling for a while, and then the doubling slowed to 50% growth a year, and then that slowed to 25% growth a year, and then that slowed to kind of between 10 and 15% growth a year.
But your growth is so huge that it's like even 10 or 15%.
On a dollar basis, growing 10 or 15% now is a lot more than doubling back then. And then 2020 was an interesting year because
I bet you guys exploded.
Yeah, so first it was scary, right? It was like, wow.
March. The second week of March. Everyone's like,
what's going to happen now? because everything just kind of stopped for a while, and then golfers said, "This is great," and the municipality said, "Let's open it back up," and then everybody opened back up, and it was one of the few places people could go to relax and have fun that was COVID safe. And I know the story there. I'm sure your business was a reflected that as well. But it was a significant increase in activity over the prior year. We were back in the 20% growth range.
So when like last year, was it hard to get supply though?
There were inventory constraints.
Especially with balls, like everybody couldn't get balls.
Inventory constraints all year. No question about it. Even as we got to the end of the year, and those constraints are actually still existing now. So it's difficult to get more difficult to get product from overseas. That affects our manufacturers. I think their demand is outpacing the ability that they can produce domestically for a lot of them, and so we will probably have some type of inventory constraints for the first half of the year.
Yeah, I mean they're behind, right? 6 months probably of develop, because everything was closed, right? I heard that certain brands were going back to Dick's and other places where they had inventory on the shelf, but the stores were closed, and saying, "Give us back our inventory. We need to sell this on our website." Yeah,
well, if I was a brand, that's what I'd have done, right?
Oh yeah.
At that point, if they don't have the product, for sure.
So, when did you start doing more stuff? When did you move away from balls? I mean, you still do balls, but when did you start adding to your repertoire?
About the same time. So in 2004, we moved into our current facility, which is situated in a shopping center. We said, look, as long as we're going to move into this new, bigger facility that has a storefront, why don't we make a store? So when we opened the store, that kind of naturally led us to add a complete selection of product online, the same that you'd find in any store, because we're buying the inventory anyway for the retail store. So we just buy a broader selection. So probably 2004, 2005 was when we expanded to shoes, clubs, golf bags, carts. I would tell you though that our store is a very small part of our business, and customized product sales still represents 80% of our overall company business. About 80%.
So you have a location in Lafayette, right? Which is your store / headquarters, right?
Yeah.
Would you call it? And then do you have distribution in other places too?
So we have been fortunate. Two buildings came on the market adjacent to our
Oh,
facility.
nice.
So we just it went on the market, got it. It went on the market, got it. So we have enough square footage. We've got 60,000, 65,000 square feet, but right adjacent to in total near our main building. And then last year we leased a pretty cool office space in the downtown area. We've got the third floor of a cool old building that's been redone.
That's cool.
And the reason we did that is because to attract the cool kids, the software developer guys, you need to have cool digs, right?
They're like, oh, here's your cubicle of your dreams. Yeah,
they don't really want to work in a previous grocery store with offices that without windows, right? And it turns out they have a choice. They're gold collar workers, and so we leased that space downtown to move our entire technology development operations downtown to be able to help us attract
talent,
more of the cool kids.
Yeah, top talent.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people are doing that right now too, though. I mean, a lot of golf brands I've talked to, their spaces are older buildings with industrial look, which is cool. I love that. I mean,
yeah.
So you're saying then 80% of your business is the customization side, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So is the majority of that coming from the balls?
It is. Yeah. Most of it's balls, but we also do a lot of accessories. We do embroidered. I'll split that up for you too. 80% of our business is customized. 3/4 of that is B2C, golfers buying for golfers or golfers buying gifts for people.
Wow.
One fourth of that is corporate. So a quarter of that customized business is people buying golf balls or apparel or hats or logoed bags for their business or for tournaments.
So what do you guys customize them? Balls, shirts?
Balls, tees, divot tools, ball markers, customized packaging, boxes. That's kind of on the consumer side. On the corporate side, on the corporate side, it's a lot of shirts. It's a lot of hats. It's a lot of pretty much anything in the promotional product space we do as well. So if you think like we sell koozies in addition to selling logo golf balls. The majority of our business is logo golf balls, but we also have a full spectrum of kind of promotional products as well. We've got a team of people that work with our corporate.
So do you guys do all the printing where? There?
We do our printing here, right? We've got a team, about 50 people within our company that are kind of dedicated to our.
You guys have a lot of machines.
Printing. It's a lot of machines. Yeah.
So
we don't have 50 machines. We don't have 50 machines.
No.
But we've got. Yeah.
I heard that printing on golf balls is an art form. Is that true? Like it's hard. Like it's not people think, oh, it's easy to do. It's like, no, it's really easy to screw it up.
It's easy to do as long as you don't have to get it right. If you want to get it right and at scale, it's really hard to do. So we've made just about every mistake that anybody can make in developing and printing and producing and QC. And so we've developed as a software developer, we feel like we've got a nice competitive advantage there because the software that drives our website, we also develop software that drives our internal processes. So exactly what you see on the website makes its way through our organization.
There's no holdups. It's like literally boom.
Get on the product exactly the way you want it. So it's got a nice prioritization system, a nice product imaging system, and we've got like checks all along the way to help our shippers and our ball printers from making mistakes, and our order packers, they cross check everything. So like I said, we made every mistake that can be made, and we've tried to learn from those mistakes and bake that into our current system, software and system.
Which is kind of cool because a lot of people are trying to do that now, right? And you've done this over the course of many years. So you have a really huge competitive advantage because people are either they're wanting to do what you have or they're trying to figure it out right now. You know what I mean? And it's a hard process to learn. You're going to spend a lot of money doing it. If
you, one screw up can cost the profit on 3 orders, right? So it kind of just
holy crap. Oh, wow. I didn't think about that.
So if it's easy to get into as long as you don't make any mistakes.
Which you're going to make a ton of them.
It's a nice business as long as you don't, but
if you're perfect.
Inevitably, when you're dealing with someone's logo or you're dealing with someone's, the image that they want on the product, it's so easy to make a mistake, right? And so the mistake, if it's on apparel, it's a very expensive mistake. If it's on a golf ball, it's less expensive, but it's still costly.
Yeah, because well, it's not trash, but I mean, you could do what do you do with those balls that didn't get printed right? Do you still sell them?
We sell them as logo overruns.
Okay, yeah, I'm on your site right now.
Yeah,
which is a disc. I mean, it's still the same ball. It just has a weird bunch of random stuff on it.
Somebody else's. It's just got a logo on it,
which is smart because some people don't care about that. They're like, hey, I still got this really cool. Pro V1, it has a heart on it. I don't really care about the heart, but whatever. I got a Pro V1 for a significant discount, Yeah. So then, I mean, you guys have a lot of stuff on your site. That's crazy. So then all the customization for like shirts and printing and stuff like that, is that all in-house too, or does that go off-site?
We do have embroidery. We have in-house embroidery, and we have
wow.
The vast majority of what we produce is produced in-house. If it's a really big order of apparel shirts, we'll probably have the manufacturer have someone else do it, just because it would consume too much of our capacity here. We don't try to do everything. We just try to do most things here. If the economics,
most things you can do. without
like we probably, let's just say embroidery, we might do 24 pieces here or 48 pieces here. But if it's like 120 pieces, we probably not want to do it in house. We probably have someone else do it. Balls, we probably go up to 500 dozen here.
holy moly.
I mean, it depends on what it is. We might depend. It depends on the capabilities in our relationship with the manufacturers.
Yeah.
We do almost everything in ball here. Like it just depends on the business segment. It varies by business segment.
That's phenomenal. So then when it comes to the corporate stuff, then the same kind of thing, right? There's come a corporate, there'll be a corporate event. They'll come to you and say, we want to make a bunch of X.
Yeah.
And then they can just do it themselves and use your software to figure out what that is.
Our software drives our production processes. We'll offer customers a preview, but that particular piece of business, it's just so easy to mess up. Like it's just, if you don't get that right, you don't want to have 50 shirts with the wrong logo on it.
It's complete, but you lost that. Like it's done. No one's going to buy that shirt.
It's gone. While there's a good market for logo over on golf balls, there's not such a good market.
There's like no market. Oh, it's like, and then you want to ship it off to some country, and be like, oh, it's a Paul Golf Challenge shirt. Nice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it looks like you have a lot of good relationships with all the top brands, right? Like you work with all the big boys, the big boys.
We've built great relationships over 20 plus years with all the major manufacturers.
So then, like, what's new for this year for you guys? Like, what's coming? Anything? I mean, you don't have to spill the beans, but like, what's your plan for 21?
So so we always get excited when manufacturers launch new products, right? Because it helps get the market.
Yeah, it's free marketing for you, right?
I'd say from our perspective, we like to do something every year or two that is completely different or different in the market. And so we launched a product a year or two ago called Align XL, which I'm sure you watch in your 30 minutes of free time a week. You probably spend it watching PGA Tour tournament golf, right?
Yeah.
So the if you watch it, half of the guys have a line printed halfway around the ball as kind of an alignment aid that they use for putting. So a few years ago, we not a few, like literally last year, and then we kind of made it a little bit better last year. We launched a personalized version of Align XL where you can have the line. We print the line halfway around the ball, just like the tour guys do, which is kind of tour validated. And then we'll let you put your name or your business name or some kind of a message inside of that line, and it looks really cool. And so, if you look at how what's new for this year, I think our Align XL product line is going to continue to grow as a percentage of our business.
Well, it's cool because it's the best of both worlds, right? You have a way of aligning the ball, and it's going to have
game improvement alignment aid plus personalization. And for us, it's unique in the market. And it turns out it's really, really hard to do at scale. We're like on our third iteration of our equipment that we use to print this. And it's hard to print a line at scale, align halfway around the ball, and get it right every time. It's just hard to do.
This is awesome because it's like you're more than, some people say, well, you guys just sell personalized golf equipment, but it's more than that because really what you're doing is you're more of a technology company in a way because you're trying to connect the two worlds together, right? Like customization with golf equipment, but it's all seamless. It's not like I'm going to go to a printer and get some shirts made, right? For my golf tournament. It's more like we're designing software that's going to make, it's kind of like the best of both worlds where you're going to have, a alignment aid plus your name or whatever you want. And they're actually going to keep that ball. And they're probably going to be like, oh, this ball is cool. I'm just going to start buying from golfballs.com and do whatever I want on it.
That's what we hope happens. If you looked at our kind of our position in the market, our kind of, you would say we're golf plus mass customization plus e-commerce. Kind of the intersection of those is our sweet spot. right? And we kind of know we know that golf has been relatively flat until the last year, but mass customization has mass customization and e-commerce have continued to grow every year for the last 20.
I don't think I honestly feel that golfers want to be unique, right? Whatever that may be. Honestly, I just came to realization in the last year, right? Where it's like, people might want a certain product because they like that brand or whatever it may be, but people really at the end of the day want to stand out on the course, right? They want to, whatever that is.
Yep. And it's cool. Look, nobody has to play golf. Nobody has to play golf. Golfers play golf because it's fun. And so we like to produce things that help them have more fun, either through game improvement or through a funny message or through something that they can share with their foursome, right? Something that gives them, makes them have a little bit more fun.
Yeah. And what I think is cool is that, not only do you sell balls and customize apparel and balls, but you have the equipment side too, which is just, I don't know, it kind of blew my mind because I was like, oh my gosh, because people, like myself might not have known that you guys do everything. Literally, you do everything. And I knew who you guys were. I knew your story a little bit because I've heard it somewhere else. I don't remember what it was, but I just think it's cool because you were one of the first, right? You're if not the, there's only a really small handful of companies that started in the 90s that are still around that are golf e-com. So.
Yeah, I don't know that we were the first, but I think we were the first that are still around now.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of people.
I don't know that anybody predates us that is still in existence now.
I don't know. I think it goes to you guys historically, and then I think it goes global golf. That's what I think.
Yeah. And Ed's a real innovator.
Ed is. Yeah.
They took the used club space and just turned it into turned it from a hodgepodge swap and trade, swap meet to a real deal business.
To a real industry. Brilliant mind. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Because I had Ed on the show too. And so Ed was saying that the way he started, was through buying equipment from eBay or trying to sell equipment on eBay and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then, putting all the pieces together to actually make an industry out of it, which is, there's a lot of money in the secondary.
From a swap meet to a real industry. And I know Ed and the team really led that transition. And I'd argue that the internet really enabled that for them too, right? Absent the internet, that industry is not nearly as far along as it is now.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think golf will continue to be what happened last year will continue. Maybe not. Some people are like, oh, we're worried that people are not going to play as much golf. Maybe that may or may not be true. However, you have a lot of new golfers, right? So if you get them easy, get them as part of your, have them know who you are, then it's early in their game, then it's an easier transition to be like, oh, that's what I want to buy from because they have the best stuff.
I'm pretty excited that Callaway bought Topgolf. I feel like that will be good for the future of player development, right? Callaway having a giant manufacturer, one of the top two manufacturers, buy the biggest off course kind of entertainment golf, not non-course golf business. They have a big incentive to convert those Topgolf golfers into on.
That's why they did it, right?
Course golfers, right?
If you think about, I didn't think about you said that, but that's the whole reason why they did it. They're taking the recreational guy who's going to, or gal, drinking some beers and hitting at a cool driving range and teaching them about their brand and they pretty much just bought a channel is what they did.
I suspect that the economics are pretty good on its own because Chip's gonna make really good economic decisions. On the other hand, you're right. Kind of if it can make money on its own, it's a good acquisition, and they can help usher in a whole new generation, millions of golfers from off-course golf to on-course golf. We will all benefit from that. The whole industry will benefit from that.
What I think is another big play right now, I'm seeing it, is the simulator space. People, I talked to somebody last week. They're in Manhattan, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's winter here, so we all go to whatever Brooklyn or somewhere. There's a big simulator place you can go play golf indoors, and it's like a bar." And I'm like, and then the next day, someone else say the same thing. I'm like, "Oh my god, it's like happening everywhere now, where people just want to like, especially in these states where there's freezing and winter and stuff. Like it's."
You know, I was in Korea a few years ago, and in Korea, there's more they call it screen golf. There's more screen golf than there is on course golf. And so I agree with you. I think it's a trend.
It's coming.
I think it's coming. I don't think it's coming at the same pace. Like, I think there's a lot of,
it costs a lot of money for those sims, like a lot of money. It's like,
it does. And I think golfers like to be outside too when they can, you know, I think
they have a choice. I mean, I think it's seasonal, right?
Supplement to have fun with the game. But I don't like, there's plenty of people in Korea that have never played on a golf course that are excellent champion.
They played it like Augusta National. They're like, "Oh, I shot under par at Augusta National." Like, really? Yeah. On what? Tiger Woods Golf 2015.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a cool space. Golf is really interesting. What's happening? I mean, I think with what happened last year with COVID, with the rise of Shopify and the ability of people starting brands, you know, it's a good time to learn and try to grow a brand if you're interested in doing that.
I agree. It hasn't been a great time to enter the golf space for many years, and I think that has changed. It's changed significantly in the last year.
Yeah, I would tend to agree on that for sure. I think it should be a very interesting year. We'll see I'm kind of excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
It'd be exciting if the growth from last year is sustained. If it's equal to or greater than it was last year, I'll be like blown away. And I don't know. With the vaccine, we'll see what happens.
If it stays flat year over year, it's a really good year for golf. That was a lot of growth last year.
Yeah, it's like 300%, right, or something crazy.
It was definitely double-digit growth on the full year.
It's like something nuts. Well, I'm really excited to have you on the show. I've been following you from afar, and so I'm really excited to have you on the show and to be working with you in the future. You guys have to check out golfballs.com. It's like the coolest website, honestly, because if you're into customization like I am, they pretty much do everything, and it's all there, and you'll get it fast. I mean, you guys have flat rate shipping too. Wow, that's crazy. $5.95 flat ship rate. That's
$5.95
awesome.
flat. And we also, if you want it tomorrow, we can get it to you tomorrow as well. Just not for $5.95.
Yeah, no way. But still, it's cool. I mean, that's so you guys need to check out golfballs.com. Tom, thank you for being on the show today. I know you're a very busy man, and I appreciate you being here and sharing your story with us. And I look forward to doing more with you guys in the future.
Sounds great, Paul. Thank you for having me on your show.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Behind the Golf Brand Podcast.
You're going to beat me at golf?
Stay connected on and off the show by visiting golfersauthority.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment.
Golf is always more fun when you win.
Stay out of the beach and see you on the green.